There's a famous quote, and it's cliche now, right? But it goes something like this. I think you guys might have heard it. Early bird gets the worm. Now, it's a cliche quote. We all have heard it. However, I think people lack to understand it. They think about early bird gets the worm, but they don't think about all of the different life situations that it applies to. If you're in business and you're the first one to call that client and they're talking to you as the first person, they haven't consulted with anybody else, you're more likely to set an appointment with them. They're more likely to be more receptive. If you're the fifth guy, if you're the sixth guy, they've already talked a bunch, they've practiced all the objections that they're gonna throw at you, and most likely they've already set some appointments, so they're less likely to listen to you. If you look at that girl, you wanna talk to her, and you take too long, oh, I wonder what the best way is. Oh, how am I gonna start talking? Fuck that shit. If you just say, you know what? I'm gonna just go up to her and say something. You'll figure out what the fuck to say. Even if you walk up to her and just fucking look at her, she'll get it. For the sake of the example, early bird gets the fucking worm. You just stand there on the sideline looking at the other guy that saw the same girl and he had the balls to go and talk to her and you fucking didn't. Even if you didn't know what the fuck to say, you have a better chance at getting that girl or the next girl because you've achieved more experience, at least taking your chance at bat, at the bare minimum, right? So the first thing that you want to recognize is, even if you get that client on the phone and you maybe don't close the deal the first time, at least you had the opportunity to get on the phone with that client. Should you wait for 9 a.m., 10 a.m., 11 a.m., 12 p.m., they're too busy to even talk to you now, they're doing something else, versus you call them at 7 a.m., 8 a.m., first one on the phone. They're more receptive, they're more likely to talk to you, they're more likely to listen to you, they have more time, and they haven't practiced with other people on how to tell you to fuck off. So, early bird gets the worm. It's a cliche quote, however, it's underrated and it's not used properly. Because if you use it properly, you'll understand the reality of how important speed and urgency actually is. 1 year goes by, you make a New Year's resolutions. Oh, I'm gonna lose all this weight, or I'm gonna gain muscle, or I'm gonna join a fight gym, or I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, and you don't do it. Next year goes by, you say the same shit, and you don't do it, thinking, oh, you know what? Life's getting busy, I got, another year, I'm still young, blah, blah, blah. Next year goes by, next thing you know, you get a bitch pregnant. Now it's even harder for you, because you gotta be investing more time at work, you gotta be doing all these different things now that are gonna be more on your plate, and you don't have time to do the things that now you want to do, so you're going to think, because that's what you've been thinking from the very fucking beginning. You can make time for it, regardless of how busy your life is. But this is why it's important to be the early bird, because the early bird gets the worm. You do it first, you don't think about it too much, you don't allow your insecurities or your limited beliefs get to you. You just do it anyway. I feel uncomfortable, but I'm gonna do it anyway. This feels a little bit uneasy, but I'm gonna do it anyways. I'm not used to doing this, I'm gonna fucking do it anyways. That's where you gotta get to. Because the reality is that most people, they'll let that feeling stop them. And they'll be the late bird that gets no worm, because the worm has already been gotten by somebody like me. That's the fucking point. There are people like me every single day waking up and going after it. So I have to be disciplined enough and stoic enough to understand that and look at the world for what it is and say, you know what? I'm not going to allow anybody to outwork me, because I know who I am, and I'm gonna outwork and outlast anybody in my industry, anybody in my field. I'm gonna take all the chances that I get. Any opportunity that's in front of me, I'm going to fucking take it. And I'm either gonna win or I'm gonna learn. So you have to make that decision. And the best decision to make is to take that opportunity. Because if you're not winning, if you're not learning, then you're fucking losing. And you're losing because you're not taking the chances, and you're not taking the chances with speed. Somebody tells you that they're not ready, and you wait too long, the lead gets cold, you call them back in 2 to 3 months, and you see that somebody already sold it. Somebody already took your client. Somebody is already on it because they were more hungrier than you were. And now you're over here starving for fucking business. Now you're more needy than ever. People don't want to talk to you really because they can feel the neediness off of your communication, because of all of the opportunities and all of the chances that you didn't maximize because of pure fucking laziness. And that's the point. The reason why the early bird gets the worm is because he is not lazy. He's productive. He has courage. He's willing to go after the things that most people aren't, because most people are afraid. Most people want to stay average. Most people may practice early bird gets the worm for the first day or two, and then once it gets difficult, Once they have to innovate and try something different so that they can grow bigger, they stop. And they scale back down to the same position that they were in, finding themselves in the same fucking place because they did not act with speed and urgency. And somebody else like myself is out there working every single day, regardless of his emotions, regardless of how he feels, regardless of how anybody and what anybody is saying. He's doing whatever the fuck he has to do to make it happen. And that's the fucking difference. That's the difference. Anytime that you wake up and you think about slacking and you think about being lazy, think about a guy like me. Think about me waking up and saying, don't be a fucking pussy. Don't be a bitch. Get up and go after it. Because you'll start to notice that time and time again, the more that you push yourself to be early, to be fast, to tackle the problem with speed, to not let it sit there like dirty dishes on the sink. They end up piling up, and now it's gonna take you way more time, way more effort, shit sticking to the fucking plate, all this different shit until you recognize, I'm not gonna let this shit happen again. I gotta stop letting this shit happen. You know what? I'm gonna fucking fix the problem. So you either have some bitch take care of it for you, or you take care of it. Whatever the fuck it is. Or you pay somebody to take care. You hire a cleaner. You recognize, I'm too busy for this. This is not worth my time because I gotta be out there making things happen, making more money, attracting more leads, getting more sales, living my life. And if you can't do that, and if you're not thinking that way, then that should be the reason why you should be more inspired to tackle life with speed, to tackle life with urgency. Because the longer you wait, the harder it's gonna be. It's just like even in financial terms. Look at inflation. It increases year after year. Things are more expensive now than they were a year ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago. The world is always spinning, and if you're not outpacing the speed of inflation in every single realm that you can possibly think of, you're falling behind. It's not good to just half-ass something, or just do a little bit of it, or just enough. If you're not winning, you're losing. You have to go out there and have that winning mindset and tackle it head on, with speed, with urgency. Don't be so comfortable. You know, a phrase that I like to relate to a lot, and a term that I say to myself is memento mori. Recognize your mortality, because we all have that appointment that we didn't make, but that we have to keep. And that is your mortality. That day's coming for all of us where, listen, we have today, tomorrow's not guaranteed. So you have to seize the day every single day, because this is the only thing that's true. This is the only thing that's real. And if you start to think of life in these terms, you'll start to take more action. You'll start to think more clearly. You'll be more sharper. You'll let go of all of those habits that are keeping you down, because the only reason why you have these habits in the first place is because you think you have all this fucking time. And you don't. You don't have all this time. The only time that you have is right now. And if you can't fucking see that, then that's why you're going to be outworked every single time. Speed, action, fast, now. Every single day, consistently. And if you do that, you'll be the most successful person in your circle. And people will look up to you, people will respect you, you'll be credible, and you'll have that integrity of the man that's known to take action, the man that's known to be trusted because he moves with speed, he's competent, he knows exactly what he's doing, he knows exactly what he has to do, and he fucking makes it happen. Speed.